All right.
Yo, PPT Premier Pep Talk Podcast. This is officially the Premier League 23-24 preview. Let's fucking go.
How about it?
How about it? That was a very, very quick off season. Super quick. We're already back. We're ready to do picks on Thursday. I'm very excited to get back into that. That was my little adrenaline rush for the weekend, trying to do a little bit of gambling, maybe hop in some parlays with you, but just overall excited for the Premier League start. Your team kicks it off. But before we talk about the preview, and then, like I said, we won't be doing any picks today. We'll be doing that Thursday. We'll be doing an overall season preview. Who's finishing first? Who's getting relegated? Who's getting golden boots, golden gloves? Who's going to be the mutt of our season?
Whoa.
Just so much going on. You're freezing really bad. You're skipping. Like every movement you do, you're skipping. So let's get that corrected before we proceed. And we're going to talk about the Community Shield game Sunday because we didn't talk about that. I forgot. But yeah, it's skipping really bad. Are you hardwired or wireless?
Yeah, I'm hardwired.
I'm
not. You know what it is?
What is it? Is it too much fluorescent lights in the background throwing off the stream?
Never that. Know exactly what it is.
Another alibi. Yesterday's price is not today's price.
Good old Conte.
Yesterday's price is not today's price. It's certified.
It just said you reconnected, but you're still freezing in and out a little bit. Hopefully it gets better. Let's try to power through it. So yeah, before we get to this Premier League preview, let's talk about Sunday. Arsenal win on penalties, lift the Community Shield. What was your thoughts on the game?
Well, we have a tradition here at Premier Pep Talk, Brian. Simple tradition. Anytime we have folks that are on this pod and their clubs play each other, the winner gets their breakdown. So please, sir, continue the tradition.
Testing 1 2 1 2 1 2. All right. First dub on the podcast over City, 1-3, but we're working our way back up to 500, baby. Let's do it. But you know my thoughts on the game. I was excited to kick the season off playing City, the two best teams from last year. I don't care about no Carabao Cups. The two best teams were Arsenal and City. There wasn't really anybody even in the conversation. So to start this season off, City are going to continue to be good with that bald-headed motherfucker that I can't stand, but I respect. They're going to continue to be good. And Arsenal, I asked for a $200 million spending spree. I got a $200 million spending spree. We got the we got the vigilantes. We got the extras. We got the heavy hitters to come in. We saw all three of them start Sunday, and I was excited. I texted you at halftime. This looks like a game between the two best teams in the league. I was excited that we were the two best last year. We look like two teams playing a chess match on Sunday. And, overall thoughts. Let's talk about our new signings first. Urian Timber. Guy's a baller, man. Guy is a baller. Played right-sided center back most of the time at Ajax, from what I understand. Never played left back. Stepped into left back, playing an inverted role like Zinchenko. Wow. That guy's impressive. And Zinchenko, he's going to have to step it up like Ramsdale's going to have to step it up and did step it up on Sunday. Ramsdale had a great game with Raya coming in, officially confirmed. But, man, Timber looks like a baller. I said it on the last podcast, probably my most exciting signing. I'm going to stick with that. What do you think of him as a rival fan?
Yeah, so he was a great signing. You know, we discussed him as the first official bid went through, but I mean, at that point, things escalated real quick, right, on personal terms and everything. So I don't think there was a much other club to get in there. United, who were kind of linked to him in previous windows. United. So what I would say is he's a baller, and he showed signs for sure. Interesting tactically how he was used. I'll get into the tactics a little later, but yeah, just in regards to your Timber question, he's a baller. I'm very interested to see how he progresses in the attacking third. Is where I want to see that next kind of level of. I'm scratching my head at what this guy can be.
Mm-hmm. And I'm okay with that because I think Zinchenko is the total opposite. Timber looked very good defensively, and I was excited about that. You know, did very well, had a lot of blocks, didn't get beat really at all. And as soon as Timber came out, actually, the goal happened, which was ironic and funny. The Cole Palmer goal, which was very, very, very great shot by Cole Palmer.
Tierney got a deflection on there, though, didn't he?
Well, he deflected the pass. It was kind of a lucky bounce, but also Partey was beat. He gambled way too much. Foden spun him, and the rest was history. So it is what it is. You know, we got a lucky bounce to equalize. So we'll call it even, I guess, right? But yeah, Timber, yeah. So with Zinchenko's suspect defensively for me. Timber looks very solid defensively. I think he's so skillful on the ball, and he seems to have good vision and good ball skills that the offensive stuff will come. I'm more excited that he looks better defensively and he has to work on his going forward game. You know what I mean? Because it's the total opposite with Zinchenko. Zinchenko is going to break the lines and all that stuff. Timber will have to work on it, but the guy looks very, very skillful, and I don't see why he couldn't do that. You know, he's not going to get everything clicking in day one. The fact that he's playing a new position and look that good against the treble winners, very, very promising. But yeah, offensively, we missed a lot of chances. Havertz, it was a tale of two halves. I was actually very impressed with him in the first half. He scuffed a chance in the first half, but the hold-up play was very solid. I didn't expect that from him. There was a couple of really, really nice hold-up plays. You know, he's pretty silky on the ball, but you got to make those chances as a striker. And we know he doesn't make them, and that's going to be something, if he doesn't fix up, that people are going to remember. You know, when you're playing the striker position, which, let's be real, I don't think he's going to be playing it the whole season. Saturday probably will play. I'd rather have Trossard. Trossard was great when he came on as cameo, but not a bad start for Havertz. I thought he was good in the first half. Second half, he had that other second miss. The first miss, I thought it was a great save. The second one, he should have slotted that in. So what do you think of Havertz?
Well, you know, the question alludes to some of the tactic stuff I want to get into later, but I thought it was interesting how he was used when they weren't on the ball and how he was used when he was on the ball. And it kind of gets into that more of the I think oftentimes we get caught up when looking at stats, you know, position versus role. And I think Kyle Havertz is not being asked to play a position. I think he's being asked to play a role right now. And it's definitely different. And this is where I got to, you know, give a kudos so far from a chess match perspective. I thought Pep waved a little bit of a white flag in the sense that he went back to something that we knew what we worked, which is a double pivot 4 over your 3, because you guys were overloading with Declan, Odegaard, and Kai. You made Martinelli and Saka play back, knowing it was a 3-back, and you literally let Saka and Martin. It was one of the first times ever I actually saw Saka and Martinelli not pressing butt cheeks in, and I'm thinking, why are they not doing it? Oh, wait, they're doing it once we do and get in the attacking third. So I thought it was kind of interesting, kind of how it all went into. But back to your question, Kai, Kai's gonna have questions this year, man. He's got to finish that. I think both need to be finished based on the positioning. Um, you know, I don't really want to get into the criticisms yet because, again, it's a role that he's being asked, and I can't really definitively tell you yet if that role is being asked to score goals. Obviously, the reason why I say he's got to finish that is because both scenarios, I think they just have to be finished. But played the position well. He's looked good so far. I see it working out because I think Mikel is really trying to spice things up right now. I was very impressed overall with Mikel more than anyone.
Yeah. Yeah, I think defensively we were really, really, really good. Going forward, Saka wasn't his best game. Martinelli wasn't his best game. Odegaard was good, but didn't really do too much in the final third. But defensively, very, very good. And I don't want to, break this down too much, but I thought Ramsdale, where we talked about the Raya signing, and you're already seeing the benefits. Since that rumors come out, he was great in the preseason game, the Emirates Cup, and he was fantastic on Sunday as well. So you're already seeing the benefits of that signing. And I love it. That's something Arteta clearly identified. Hey, maybe Ramsdale's getting a little arrogant. He doesn't feel Turner could take his spot. Maybe he knows that I don't think Turner can take his spot. We need to get another big goalie in here. And great business. Tottenham, talking to you guys. Link to Raya. Personal terms done. You had the personal terms done. Tim Romano reported it. Now maybe it was a fake news report from Tim, but he's usually pretty good on those reports. He doesn't put out personal terms unless he knows it. And you backed out to get some random Italian goalie who I've seen in preseason, and the guy don't look confident at all. And you know what happens to a non-confident goalie in the Premier League? You go looking for another goalie in the January window. That's what happens. Or it's Fraser Foster settings again. But we get Raya for $28 million. You paid 17 for some bum goalie in the Italian league.
Yeah.
That's good business. 10 million back for Turner. So really, 18 only came out of our pocket for Raya. That's what you paid for the Italian guy that nobody knows. That looked like he was going to break down crying when the goals were going in a preseason game versus Barcelona today. So the benefits for that are already paying off. And Ben White, Saliba, Gabriel, I thought our whole back 4, 5, including Ramsdale, was solid.
So if I'm doing math correct, they paid 18 and weren't willing to offer 25 for the guy that you guys are signing.
I don't know what I read
right now for that
it was
team?
too expensive for them, so they backed out.
And you ended up paying 25?
25 plus 3.
Fucking embarrassing.
Yeah.
This is embarrassing. I can't. I mean, that says everything I need to know right there.
Yeah.
That's just.
He was flustered today in a preseason game. He, like I said, we'll talk about Tottenham later. Let's not do it.
Yeah,
but
they don't deserve this.
As for City, I thought you guys looked good. Haaland missing, MIA. He didn't have many touches. I think I saw it was 11. Grealish was very absent. I think kind of both of our teams, our front guys just weren't clicking. It looked like defensively we were both pretty good. And going forward, we were both not all there yet. I'm sure that'll be different for our weekend games. But, yeah, Kovacic looked decent. Odegaard put him on skates, though. I know you saw that. That was nice. I love those little flicks that Odegaard does. He catches people like crazy. He caught Paqueta last year. Silky. And, Rodri annoyed the fuck out of me. I mean, his tackles were shameful. I'm sorry. And to not get carded for it. Come on. I was so happy when he missed his penalty.
Yeah. So cooking both ways. Ref was horrible. I'm confused as to the mentality after with Ramsdale's comments. Kovacic, this is a mental block off now. Now we know we can beat City. This will help us kind of move forward.
Why is that confusing? Because I said that the other day. You've played sports, remember? Pocono Mountain days, Strasbourg.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Remember that was our Man City to our Arsenal. Strasbourg, we can never beat them. And then that one time we finally beat them, and it was like, all right, we're good now. We could play. This happens. It happens.
Uh-huh.
It happens. We haven't beat you guys since Community Shield 2020. Not Community Shield. FA Cup semifinal 2020.
Yeah, and that's valid. The FA Cup, that's a big competition to beat us in. The concern that I have here, and I want to put that to the side because I want to make sure I get the cooking both ways. Timber got taken off of his boots at one point by Bernardo going into the wing. At one point, the play stopped so that he can go get his shoes. So my man cooked Timber just as bad as Mateo got cooked too.
Don't get upset. Don't get upset.
The refs. No, I'm shouting on my guy Bernardo. Absolutely. I mean, he deserves. He's the next Magu, the Portuguese Magu for us after David Silva. So
anybody can get done up by Bernardo. His low center of gravity is ridiculous.
Yeah. So I mean, we're not really saying that Odegaard doesn't get that same respect too, right? I mean, Odegaard's nasty. You guys put him up there, right? So when he cooks, I mean, it should just be another day too. But props, I acknowledge it. I mean, Mateo got dropped a little bit. I expect a little bit more from Mateo going into the season. I'm actually going to have a lot higher standards for him because he's a little bit older. So he played decent to me.
I mean, he's 30 for a midfielder. That's old.
Yeah, no, Brian, I'm going to be very critical of him because he's got to slot in. I mean, I did see good action from him, good moves, finishing, with Holland and Julian Alvarez. We did a lot of different stuff. Juli at the 10. I mean, it was different. We did different stuff. Cole Palmer was subbed on the 61st minute, and he hit the first goal. So we did a lot of different things to where even before you even look at what tactically we've done, you look at what I agree, getting over that hurdle and beating that team. That is a two-way impact. And it's not two-way in this scenario. It's a game that, for with all justification, I would put any money down right now if Vegas would allow me that within the next 5 years, you're going to see a change. Now, the FA, yeah, because you're going to have a lot of scrutiny about it. Personally, I truly, going into it, it's clear. I made a joke about it, but it's obvious. I truly don't give a fuck about this game at all. I joked about it, but it's truly nothing to me with how it's impact. In fact, I can show you impact on the last 10 winners of this fucking thing and how little it means to the actual season. Now, when you talk about big clubs and what Arsenal are, I want to make sure I state it clear. I'm not an Arsenal hater. I'm acknowledging that they are a major competitor against us. But I'm also going to acknowledge that they have big club standards and that they also have major standards since they're now big boy spending, since Kroenke found money in those pockets. But for years, I heard you guys can't compete. Now you're here, and you did it with players that are good and fast and similar in ways that we did it because you took our manager, and now you have it going. And yes, he's a club legend. I get it. I'm acknowledging all these things because these are facts. At this current point in time, I, more than anyone on this podcast, can speak intelligently to how the standards of what it means to surpass all these achievements that are needed to get up to that very thing we're all chasing. Treble winners. Actually, that is now the 9th time going back from the first official podcast. Healthy reminder. Brian, you guys are big boys. The Community Shield, if the person who says to me, this is a huge mental knock off for Arsenal because they won this game, I say to you, the mentality is already weak in the stance if that is going to do it for you. I have no problem acknowledging if City get beat by Arsenal in the league in anything that doesn't end in an actual draw, plus we just decide to do PKs afterwards. We played no extra time. Both clubs, we know what this
played
is.
almost 15 minutes extra time.
We'll have a conversation about that. But you know what I mean? 2 periods of extra time. The day comes, and we can look at the fixture and we can put anything on it. Whatever you want to do for it. The day comes where Arsenal beat City and hand it to us. See, that's the difference. I kept being told you have to get over Madrid. I'm wearing the kit back in 18-19 that we literally beat Madrid, but we just didn't get the Champions League final that year. We've done the Madrid thing before. It was getting over the hurdle of the Champions League. In similar fashion, you guys have beaten City before. This is not about
years ago. Not this team, dude. This is an entirely new team. 25 players Mikel Arteta's brought in. There's literally nobody from that team anymore. Literally.
Which means more reason why you have to do it in the Premier League for it to be.
But who is arguing that that's not the case? You did this whole freaking monologue, and nobody said that though. Like nobody said that.
I said this is a mental load off to beat City.
Yes,
it's not. It is. How can it be that? It's not because we're not feeling the same way. If you beat us in the league, we're gonna say, "Damn, they beat us. They finally got us."
We don't care what you're gonna say though. We're not worried about what you're saying. It's a thing in the locker room. Because guess what? We lose that game Sunday, the whole media, Gary Neville probably doesn't pick us to win the league today. They're going to go, oh, well, Arteta, he's doing great, but guy gets owned by City. It's a difference. And that is going to be said, and that gets to the players. So it's just it's a small monkey on the back. It is, because at the end of the day, we only have to play you twice, right? But it's a small monkey off the back. You go into that game breathing a little easier, knowing no matter what, everybody fucking knew that if the game was tied, it was going to penalties. So let's not complain about the rules or you didn't beat us in full time. This was the everybody knew how this was going to be.
That's a draw. Like, I get it, but you're logically going to sit here and tell me, like, you think this is a captivating win? Like, this is something.
I didn't say that. You're putting words in my mouth. I said it's a monkey off the back of the players. I think there's
pretty good semantics and parallelism.
Okay.
Mental load off and captivating win.
I didn't say it was a captivating win, though. You said that.
Yes, I am saying those two are similar enough for me to say that's a fair comparison. I have you slap us 3-1. I will come onto this podcast and tell you that is a mental load off. You guys handed it to us. Did you see the XG for both games? Do you want me to list off? Yeah. And do you want me to list off the possession and all the stats and all that? And you know why it's not that relevant? Because it's a fucking community shield. More reason why we should not even be having this conversation, that it's some mental. If it is truly a mental thing for you guys, wow, how low we are, Arsenal. You guys are bigger than that.
You're doing this whole straw man thing. Listen, it's the first game of the year. We were in it. We played it. I told you we wanted to win it. And we're in it. We want to win it. You want to get used to lifting trophies. It's the smallest trophy in the totem pole. But guess what? We won the game. We lifted the trophy, lowest on the totem pole, and it sets a good standard for the league. It's set for us. I can't speak for you. I'm sure it means nothing. But listen, you can't cheat the fucking process. We are where we were. Period. Everybody who's saying, do this, Arsenal, do that. Yeah, we bottled it last year. You can't cheat the process. You can't. You don't go from fifth place, from eighth, fifth to Champions League winners. It just doesn't happen. Show me where that happens. It doesn't. It's never been done.
I agree. We climb the ladder.
This is part of our process. So you can rag on it for all we want. Small mentality, whatever.
Yes, the players. I agree with, but I'm not ragging on it.
The players know there's a lot more to be done. Guess what? Nobody's going to be thinking about this trophy in 3 weeks.
Exactly.
At all. But the fact is, if we lost that game, you know what the fucking narrative would have been. You know it.
And yes, no disagreement. But that is an example and punishment of 2 years ago losing top 4. That is an example and a punishment of you bottling last year. You have to swallow that pill every day until you do it.
We don't have a time machine, though. So we have to start by winning Community Shields, which we did Sunday.
No, what you have to do is put the blinders on and say that shit don't matter. We're fucking Arsenal, and watch. They keep saying we're not competing this year. Watch, we're going back for the spot that we just had. That is what it is. If you let them fucking talk here in a minute, I'm sure we're going to discuss about how they focus on your manager and how that conversation's out there. If there's an influence to it, if what you say is valid with all of that, which I'm sure you're going to say, I might be wrong here, and please correct me if I am. And if that is the case, by deductive reasoning, I am telling you, it is more Arsenal, pun intended, to my argument. More Arsenal to my argument, to the fact that you have to put the blinders to that because you, just like what City have been trying to say for years, are of big club mentality. It does not matter. You are the mighty Arsenal, the best club in London. The fucking Community Shield doesn't mean shit. It was a practice fucking game. First game that fucking matters is who? Forest? Is that who you have? When you put 4 on their head, done. That's where we move on.
Okay.
You said it perfectly. No one cares about this shit in 3 weeks.
Yes. But do you can't just go tell the players, hey, those things that happen, forget them. No, it's part of our journey now. So
I agree.
to make that better, you're playing Man City in the Community Shield. You win the fucking game. Whether you win it on PKs or you win it 2-1 or you win it 1-0, you win that game. Boom. That's a part of your healing process. You can't just tell the players, forget that and play better next time. That's not how it works. That's not how it works. So that's what I'm saying. We're not going to care. Yes, we're happy we won. We took some great pictures. Declan Rice lifted a trophy. Jurrien Timber has more trophies than Harry Kane, and after one game. And yeah, this is what happened. But yeah, we know we have. If we finish in 4th place and don't get a trophy, I will go to Mikel Arteta. I will break into the Emirates Stadium, take the Community Shield, and frisbee it into the fucking the Atlantic Ocean.
You need to eat off of it is what you need to do, and just
I won't even eat off of it. But we know that. But I'm saying this is what happened. Nobody's saying, oh, we're a big club again. No, we're working our way there. This is part of our process. People are picking us to win the Premier League this year. Shocking. But this is because did you win the Champions League yesterday? Do you think that the disgusting bottling in the Champions League semifinal against Madrid, do you think that helped you do what you did last year? Because listen, that was a tight game against Milan. I thought Milan stunk, but facts are that was a tight game. Do you think having those tough defeats, do you think that helped you in that situation? Because I think it did. That's what I'm saying.
Absolutely.
That's what I'm saying. So you guys have all the Infinity Stones. I keep doing this Infinity Stone thing, but you guys have the Infinity Gauntlet. We're still trying to get all the stones and snap. So you guys are there. We're still nowhere near where you guys are in the process. But I'm sorry, we had to win that game Sunday because you know what the narrative would have been, and it gets into the locker room. You could be a fortress. We know Mikel tries to be a fortress, but fans hear the chatter. They hear it. They know what people are saying. They know what fucking the little weasel Neville and Rio Ferdinand. They know what's going on.
For the record, he picked Arsenal to win it.
I was surprised, and I can't help but think, as a skeptical Neville guy, that he's trying to reverse jinx us.
You're probably really not wrong.
He's got to be trolling.
Nah, well, I mean, we'll see how consistent he stays throughout the year on it. But I mean, I agree with you. I was kind of pushed back to really, you did pick them, Last thing I want to say on this quickly: the last 10 years, the winner of the Community Shield has gone on to be fifth, eighth, second, first, sixth, second, third, seventh. The one time out of the 10 years that the Community Shield winner won on to win the league, Manchester City did it.
So you're saying there's a chance?
Look, obviously agree to disagree. Your perspective on Arsenal is always going to be a lot more stronger than mine, and I think my perspective on City is going to always be a little bit more stronger than yours. I just know where you guys are trying to go, and I can honestly tell you, in our road to that, we never once gave a fuck about a goddamn Community Shield. But we never.
That's not true. That's not true. I'm sure early 10 years ago you guys did.
I was literally thinking about this because I said it. I was okay. So I was the only prepared part to this podcast that I've done is I thought about this, and I think it was the year Balotelli was there and he got injured in like the 35th minute. I think that was the year that I actually did give a fuck about it because I was like, yo, it means something to us. Because now I remember telling myself, isn't this the winner of FA and Prem? And I was like, yeah, so this matters because now we represent something. I remember telling myself like you can't say shit because we're actually here because we fucking did it type shit. I think it was the year Balotelli got hurt. I may be mistaken on that, but yeah. I mean, look, man. I don't know. I like the tactic.
I cared more about beating City than winning the damn dinner plate or whatever you want to call it. And I'm sure those players thought the same. That's why you heard what Ramsdale said. And like I said, we are where we are. This is part of the process. We got to win every game against City, and it had to start yesterday or Sunday, and it did. Yeah. So I'm happy we won. Penalties were great. Kovacic, I'm just worried about from him. We know he's great in the midfield. He's got great positional awareness. He's physical. He's got some movement and some ball skill to him. Mm-hmm. But if we're making him the Gundo replacement, the guy does not have the offensive wherewithal that Gundo did, or at least it's going to take a while. It's going to be one of those things like Grealish took a year to settle in. I think it'll be if he adds that to his game, it'll be a little while before we see that from Kovacic because he just did not have that at all at Chelsea.
Yeah, I'm not going to push back on that too much. You know, I don't disagree. He didn't have that at Chelsea. What I find is going to be interesting is the dynamics because if we going back to the tactic talk, I really did enjoy this game as much as me not trying to be a hater on Arsenal winning it or drawing and then going to PKs like I like to call it. Fuck head and hell. And the minutes were fucking atrocious. But then again, add that to the list of rules that have changed that, you know, we're going to have to kind of adapt to. I'm sure you're going to give us your opinion on that. That's kind of wild to me. I don't mind it though. It's going to take a little bit of adjusting.
Adjustment, but at the end of the day, some of the time wasting in this league is downright embarrassing, and it shouldn't be rewarded. And this is ultimately to fix that, which is ultimately a good thing at the end of the day, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
Well, do you agree with that? I mean, because
I don't disagree. Because
I know you guys are a victim of the time wasting the most. So
yeah, we are. So I mean, look, here's the thing about the time wasting. You know, I typically when we're holding on to the ball, and we have the lead, we're in the other opponent's attacking third any fucking way. Like the time wasting that bothers me is the Ederson. Here's the adjustment that they're doing, okay? Mm-hmm. And some of the rules that they're doing: time stoppage for goal celebrations, time stoppage for substitutions, time stoppage for what else? Oh, ball throwing. If you throw the ball, it's a card now. Like Bernardo was the first example of it in the new rule. The ball, you know, got stopped. The ball kept rolling and it came to him. He picked it up and threw it away. Obviously, a delaying tactic. Everyone fucking does it. It's just griminess, little shit like that. Got carded for it immediately. So they're definitely focusing and targeting on certain things that I think are going to be an adjustment for everyone and how the game is played. I'm not against it. I think everyone's going to have to adjust to it. Newcastle a little bit more than everyone. I mean, the numbers say that, so it'll be them. But yeah, we'll see.
There's a difference between gamesmanship, like wasting some of the clock by taking it to the corner, stuff like that, dribbling around players. But some of the goalie laying on the ball, laying on it for another 30 seconds, getting up, waving all his players to go down the field, taking a stroll, like that's the shit that I don't care for.
Yeah.
Fucking the long throw and stuff like that stuff needs to be cleaned up, and that's what they're aiming at. But Haaland and Foden kicking it back and forth, and you can't get the ball off me at the end of the fucking day, and I'm just trying to kill the clock because I want to go home because we want to beat you and this game's over. Like that's right. Just gamesmanship. They have to be able to differentiate that. Is the FA capable of seeing the difference between those two things? Probably not, because they're fucking incompetent. So that's the only thing is, are they gonna put biases aside? Are they gonna know the difference between gamesmanship and pure shithousery? Like that's the stuff you just can't trust the FA with.
Yeah, and here's the other thing: like, who's going to be seeing it? Who's going to be? Is VAR going to be happening when a call happens? Both teams have players crowd the ref, and then without looking, some player kicks the ball or throws it away or throws it at the keeper or like puts the ball out of play. Is that going to be like so many little things that you can go to that if you want to be a little bit of a kind of a lack way of saying it, you're just being a dick. You're just looking at little shit that is just, I mean, it's part of the game. Like it doesn't really get over it kind of thing. So I don't know. I'm curious about it. Both of our managers acknowledge that it's going to be an adjustment. Both of our managers kind of alluded to not really getting it, not really like being in favor of it. It's funny how managers kind of look out for one another in that regard, or at least some of them. I can't speak to the majority of the Premier League, but when it comes to this shit like this, Mikel and Pep pretty much see eye to eye on like the fact that it's like, protect the fucking players. What are you doing? Like, we're gonna be here all day, kind of thing.
Yeah, I'm calling cap on Mikel's part, because let's go back to last January, that Newcastle game.
Yeah,
and then ask him that same fucking question.
Well, he wouldn't have responded the way
exactly.
he did that.
Exactly. So that's pure cap. That's just in the moment, just saying that. Yeah. Take him to a different game, different scenario. He's tooting a different horn. That's the thing about managers, is they're very in the moment. It's just how I feel today. But they're not. That's how they are. But Pep goes to Luton Town, and they're fucking goal time wasting. The goalie's dancing around, picking grass before he's doing goal kits in the 10th minute. He's going to sing a different tune too. You know that. That's just how managers are.
Yeah, that's valid. That's valid for sure. But yeah, no, tactically, I was into this game, man. I thought we saw some really interesting shit. I think what we saw with Mikel and Pep and how they were trying to do things, with the Ben White, with the Timber, I thought it was very, very interesting. I'm curious. The Kai was the question. Kai was the question mark for me, because to do what he did and put Saka and Martinelli back for timed pressing, I thought, man, that was pretty unique. And then within the first 10 minutes, it burned them because Akanji got down wide. And that's where I think I messaged you. I was like, God, we need a left back. Oh, no, it might have been my boy. I was like, God, we need a left back so badly. We have a left back there in that scenario, and it's perfect. Or Josko. If Josko was in that scenario, it's fucking perfect. Akanji moving forward. He made the right run and everything. It was the perfect setup. We figured it the fuck out within 10 minutes how we were going to go about it. And then here comes Akanji, and it's like, okay, well, we can't do this anymore because Akanji's not fully capable. And it's not exactly the person we want moving forward and getting caught butt cheeks open on the back end. So I thought that was interesting. We stopped doing it. And that's the other reason why, again, from a City perspective, I can assure you it's just like there's no way we're even tripping off this. But it's the fact that he went back to the 4, and I was like, I thought we were trying new shit. And I mean, you have Hooley doing the 10, and the fact that he went back to new shit, I'm just like, he's the fucking competitor. Now he's really trying to like at least do something and get out of it, because you guys again were overloading with the three, with Kai, Odegaard, and Declan. Declan up was like, yo, he's actually doing it. This is crazy to me. I've never seen Declan Rice play that high before. So, I mean, he was literally
I
at
don't
one
even
point.
think he was that high as well. I think because it was City, he was a bit back. But I'm curious to see how it looks against Nottingham Forest Saturday.
When you did not have the ball and Ortega had the ball, and he would come up and play as the third center back, and we would even spread wider and put Ruben and John Stones separate, Declan Rice followed whoever came up, whether it was Mateo or Rodri. He literally manned him. He was up as far, like, if Declan had the ball, he could have easily floated a shot over anyone if a mistake happened. Like, he was that fucking high. And for that to be played, I was just like, yo, this is gonna be a fun fucking season, because it's just Arsenal are like, yo, I'm doing it. I'm really pressing up that high with the scenario. It's why I think even Thomas Partey, like, you can tell there was different rules, because I can assure you that Foden turn, my God, fucking deleted him, and I'm like, oh my Jesus. And I'm pretty sure he made a read and all that, but I think it's based on principle. I think they had some tactics going on where certain shit going on. You do this just to keep the pressure, and it happened, and they got spread.
Yeah, it was an interesting game, for sure. I'm excited to do it again, and that's just the mentality thing. Now I'm excited to play Man City again, when usually I'm dreading it, and I'm sure it's just psychological for the players. You don't want to feel like that, but you do feel like that when you keep coming off losses. It's just, you can try to read all the self-help books we want, but the best self-help is doing the necessary task. You can try and be a mentality monster, but winning breeds elite mentality, no matter what the game is. Even if this was a preseason game, which it kind of already is, but even if it was like a preseason in California game, I would have wanted the same result. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I get it. I get it. Yeah, it's always gonna be good to gotta beat that team. I'm just happy that we're that team. That's the focus. Your pup doesn't want us to be that team, though. I get it.
Yeah, exactly. She's a gooner through and through. But yeah, let's get this preview done. But I'm going to stop the podcast here because the video's bad and I want to fix it for the preview. So we'll split this one up. I'm going to stop it and back out, send you a new link, and we'll see if it looks any better.
All right, bet.
Okay.